Welcome back, friends. You are watching Tactical Enlightenment, featuring our 300 series. All of these episodes that feature our small but powerful force of war veterans face off against foes in a wide variety of scenarios and in ever increasingly more difficult situations. Alright, friends, we continue to wander the map in this 300 challenge series looking for fights, and a large force of the Western Empire just took this castle, and there are tracks leading away, so they must have taken it recently. I was exploring the map. You can see we're in the southeast portion, so we're going to try to retake this castle and see if they'll either come back and fight, or see at least if we'll have this castle to bring enemies in for us to fight on this challenge. We've got our stacked army of 300 troops here, and we are looking for a fight. It's this guy here. It's some random guy. So here's the army we have. Of course, our companions are at full health at this stage. I've been wandering around, unable to find a fight for about a week of game time. We've got a stacked army, of course. In fact, we'll do some upgrades here. And then I think I'm going to recruit some prisoners for sieges. I typically suffer some casualties. So we'll want to have some extra bodies here for the garrison as well. And that didn't take long at all. The tracks were recent, and it looks like they wheeled right back around to come see who was attacking their castle. That's a lot of them. They look very angry that we just took or are trying to take their castle again. But this is what we're here for. We didn't come here for a party. We're come here for a fight. Oh, you know our tricks, huh? I don't think you know unless you watch our channel, dude, you don't know our tricks. So this is audacious here, 3,000. This will be one of the largest forces we've ever tried with our group of 300 here. Of course, we're going to use normal player damage for this whole series. Our army is stacked, but this is still an incredibly difficult challenge. Now, I wanted to fight in this area because of the swamps. There's water. I thought there'd be more water between us and the enemy. So I know this map, I know this area, and this will do a little bit better over here. There's these pools or marshes or however you want to look at this, and I think this will give us a terrain advantage combined with tactics to have a remote chance of winning this kind of battle. Of course, this series is inspired by the Spartans, right? Leonidas and the Spartans, in an almost impossible battle against the Persians. Of course, they eventually fell. We're likely to fall eventually as well. But this series, we're just going around the map, challenging large forces, trying to use tactics, using our elite force of veterans here, and seeing just how ridiculously difficult fights we can either sustain or even win. And this is going to give us a great opportunity here. So I've got my infantry on the right over here, and I've got a crossbow unit on the far left that we'll probably use as distractionary force. Other than that, I'm going to try to use these pools, this swampy area here, and slow the enemy down. Yeah! I'm hoping that on their approach, we can obviously shoot them full of arrows, throw javelins in their neck. Okay, we got a good distance here. I'm going to do a little bit of scouting of the terrain here. So I don't like this island. I was hoping that the enemy would be significantly slowed down in deep marshes approaching us, but this is actually a lot more shallow than I had anticipated. Now this is more like it. Look how slow I'm galloping over there. So I want to set up. I'm not going to be able to do it right now, but as soon as I can, I'm going to try to move our forces here to our right, to the left of where I was just looking, over towards here. And that looks like heavy horse and horse archers. So I've seen this lately, the enemy is escorting their horse archers with heavy cav, but we're still going to attack. We're going to open up fire here, try to come in behind and cut down as many of their horse archers as we can. Anytime you have a chance to attack the enemy sort of piecemeal like this, you want to take advantage of it. Yeah, they got quite a few heavy horse in here. And again, we're going to try to conserve arrows. You've seen me doing this a lot if you've watched any of the series. We have about 130, 150 archers, give or take, in our group. Look at how deep these guys are in the water. This is what I'm looking for right here. Look at these fucking guys. They're like neck deep in this water. That's kind of hard to see. The sun is literally right in my eyes. So they've got two different cav divisions. This looks like full heavy cav over on our right flank. But again, look how slowly they're coming through the water. Okay, they're attacking with both flanks now. The infantry's moving up as well, so this is an onslaught now. My hope, though, is that I can kite. We can move our units, try to angle them in a way so that the enemy is forced to bring their heavy infantry through the heavy marshes. And then that may give us some chance to hammer them at range. I've got my fast axe here. I'm just kind of working it because I got myself sort of tucked in with the enemies here, but they're the one that's trapped. It may be 15 on 1, but with the axe speed I have with this custom weapon, they're the ones that are in trouble in situations like that. All right, so this is ideal. Their infantry is coming through this thick marsh, and what we're going to do here now is we're going to, shit, their cav is attacking on our right flank. We're going to counter them, and then we're going to get our units up onto this high bank over here. I'm moving the 6th, 8th, 1st, and the 3rd Cavalry is just a guard for these guys. We're going to try to get them up on this high ground where they can move quickly and have the enemy approach us in this marsh. That should slow down their infantry. Their boots are going to be full of water. They're going to get shot in the eyeball with arrows. And hopefully positive things for us will happen. They've got archers shooting at us, but they're all the way across the water there, so the damage will be minimal. I see their bolts flying in here, but archer shots at like 170, 180 units are not very damaging. This, however, is going to be damaging. We have these guys almost point blank. I'm kind of flying in here, and that's exactly what I wanted to happen. I sort of shoved them back a little bit. They are now knee deep to thigh deep in water, and we're going to open fire here. 1st, 3rd Division, those are both infantry with javelins, and I'm going to drag the 8th Corps, which are elite knights, and try to attack these guys while they're in this water. They're going to get pounded with arrows, pounded with javelins. I can throw some javelins in here as well. We've got cavalry charging from behind them. It's still a huge force of infantry, but we should be able to handle this. All legionnaires and elite Manablions. It's an elite troop, no doubt. They're running over our infantry. Time to charge with our archers. I've got my crossbow division charging now. We're just going to continue sort of trying to wrap this fishball up. Just like dolphins, right? The more intelligent mammal here we're going to eat today. They're the prey. I'm moving our infantry back here. Once they're in the water, I don't really want my non-cav units charging them. I want them in the water and us on high ground. Their archers are out of range here largely. And just like dolphins on the Nature Channel, we're surrounding and destroying this force. Eating legionnaires for lunch. They've got horse archers across the bay here, but they're taking the beating too from our arrows. These horse archers have no chance to approach us. Have some fast axe work, boys. Their infantry is dissolved. That was like 300 infantry, elite infantry, and they're all dead. And try to chase down some of these horse archers here. They're actually turning. That was a mistake. They should be fleeing. I've got the 7th Corps following me. You'll see me do that in almost every battle like this. That's my horse archers. Some of them are high level. They have nasty glaives like me. And now we charge with our heavy horse. These guys are knee deep in water. They're not going to be able to get out of here very quickly. We can just ride down another half dozen. Look how slow they're moving. The enemy's right here shooting at us, but I can kind of hide behind their own units. As long as I keep moving, I shouldn't take too many shots. call that a success. Now we'll get our units out of range here. They're archers. They've got another big group of heavy cav moving up. In a battle like this, though, all we're trying to do is just stack tactical victory on top of tactical victory, right? We need to essentially win each encounter, and we need to win them in dramatic fashion, or else we can't pull off a battle like this. I've got maybe 180 to 200 troops left. The first infantry is totally wiped out, so I only have one infantry division, and it's small. Fortunately, I've got Battanian Fiend Champs, and I have crossbow, and I've learned to use these two units in deadly combination. The crossbow is your shield. This is a shield and shock strategy where you keep your look at this poor guy. He's just dead, slumped over. This is a wonderful combination, though. A lot of times I'll use heavy cav if I have more of it, and I have a few heavy cav. But what we want to do is we want to approach the enemy with our shields up, right? The crossbow with these huge pavie shields. And then dragon archers behind them, right? Our shock troops, a lot of our Battanian Fiend Champs, a lot of our elite 6th and 8th Corps, our two-handed weapon skill companions, right? They do major damage. The enemy's being very passive here.
Come after me! Follow me!
Anyways, that shield and shock approach, that's how we're going to be attacking the rest of their force. We will run out of arrows, and when that happens, we've got to bring up ferocious, two-handed weapon-wielding archers and shock troops behind a wall of shields and horse. That's our main chance to make a major puncture here, is this shield and shock approach. All right, horse archers coming in. Let's get another ambush on them here. Guys are way too deep of water to get away. They are getting absolutely hit and destroyed by archer fire, which is raining in. They've got heavy cav coming on our right flank, but I have a cav division in the 8th Corps just waiting for these guys to come get some. We got our shields up. We're absorbing their arrows. Time to encircle and destroy this cav unit. Or at least push them back. Anytime we can push the enemy back right now, it's a victory, because that means they're getting shot by more Battanian Fiend Champs. This huge archer line here. Sometimes when they're focused, like they are right now, and targets downfield, I will just come in here, knock the shit out of 20 of them, and kill 4 or 5 as well. Like you're taking your small victories in a battle like this. Yeah, you motherfuckers. All right, so their next infantry wave is coming in. In a battle like this, it just seems like endless fucking waves. We're going to attack this on multiple concentrated fronts. The 6th is going to attack the 8th, and our archers can also be told to charge. What that'll do is any archers that are out of arrows, they will now wade into battle. These guys in this deep of water are fucked. They can't move. I mean, their mobility is severely hampered. Now, their archers are shooting at us, but as long as we keep moving, we shouldn't take too bad a beating. Again, now their archers are moving into this water. They must be out of ammo and are now trying to engage in melee. Well, we like that. Anytime they want to come close to us or get into that water, that's good for us. We can shoot the fuck out of these guys. Let's have the archers stop, open fire on all these guys just drowning in this marsh. Look at their, like they're charging us. Good luck. When I'm charging through like this, I'm particularly charging guys with shields. The guys without shields are going to get shot to death. The guys with shields, though, I'm trying to knock on the ground, trying to disrupt them, interrupt them. That way the arrows reach their target. Look at these guys who are just knee-deep in water fighting our shield units. It's a very bad day for these troops. The marsh will take you all. I've got 2 cav units in the 8th Corps in here also causing carnage. Now I just charged with the archers. The archers are on hold fire. This is something I've done recently. Hold fire and attack. And what that means is every single one of them, this 80 or so Battanian Fiend Champs, just charged, roaring as they come up. Nothing is going to survive in there. They're bringing up more reinforcements. These are all heavy infantry. But by the time they get there, we'll be ready for them. Look at this. The water's just foaming with our guys attacking. The onslaught is on. My health is in good shape. I gotta avoid being speared here. Little side steps like that the rest of the battle. Obviously, if I go down in a battle like this, it's curtains. Their cav division here is kind of grouped up, piled all together. We attack. This is just begs for fast axe. So you fucks. Fine, you want to fight hand to hand? Have some of this axe. This huge infantry wave is coming in. We're going to approach it the same way that we've approached these other ones. We're going to drag these archers right into it and have them charge. You put them on hold fire. That way every single one of them is in there with their two-handed axe attacking. Let's join them here. Just destroy these fucking heavy infantry. The other advantage of this, of course, is that these guys saved arrows in that encounter. Instead of shooting at shields, a lot of my archers now still have ammo. They're probably getting low, but we can bring them right back out of the swamp here and open fire again. On to the next foe. What is that? Is that a huge amount of archers right at the base there? Whatever it is, we charge. It looks like there's a whole bunch of archers attacking us again in the water. Look at all these Fiend champs just piled up. You want to face that? Yeah, you guys are fucking dead. You can die right where your rest of your companions fucking died. The screen is all green. I haven't seen an allied death in a while. I've got an infantry corps here, an archer corps on our left wing now, as more enemy infantry pour in. But again, these guys are 4 feet deep in water. Anybody who's ever been in a pool tried to move fast, you know how that works. You don't. You kind of float like an astronaut. Now we're in shield and shock mode. Any of our archers that can shoot are allowed to shoot, but our shield wall's in front. We've got infantry and a crossbow division in front, and we're going to keep pushing forward with our archers here. We're going to keep the momentum. We want to actually close the distance here now. Now that we're in the water, we actually want to start moving quickly out of this water. What was an advantage for us 30 seconds ago is now a disadvantage. We're the ones that are approaching slow. And of course, there's more enemies right around the corner. My health is perilously low. I've got to start being more precise with my attacks, more defensive in nature, attacking guys from behind. But I also just can't help but get in here and help my men. If I can cut down 10 archers and get out of there, I'm going to do it. These guys are occupied, trying to shoot at our troops. I'm killing fucking a guy every other second. You heavy cap can get some too. I just got to avoid a big spear here. My archers are roaring. I would say they're charging up, but they're like waiting up. That heavy horse though, look how slow they're moving. They're not getting any of their normal charge advantages. This is clearly an advantage for our group. Shield and shock. I've got crossbow here in front of the archers, and the death spam is concurrent with that setup. Massacre of the enemy. Infantry's coming from behind. This is a problem because these guys all have javelins. I can't take a couple of javelins at this stage. I've got to play defensive. fucking guys. There's always one fuck trying to take out the Jarl. Get in and get out. Basically just going to be attacking the rear of their force. If you're wondering why the screen is still all green despite the enemy outnumbering us here again, it's because we have a shield and shock going on. We've got shield wall troops towards the front and very powerful shock troops right behind them, just barreling in. It's another huge wave. And I see fucks lining up shots on me. You shooting at me, motherfuckers? God, it's still a huge amount of the enemy. And this is a bad setup. We are now in the water, and I'm not going to be able to get to shore here to attack these guys. All we can do is just sort of push forward and hope we don't get massacred too bad. My health is so fucking low. I'm going to drop any second now. Of course, our whole force is diminished. We have like 40 guys left. And there's another huge wave coming. Endless fucking enemies. Arrows are just raining in, and down goes the Jarl. So a valiant effort on this. For those who are new to the channel, we do film our defeats on this series. This 300 challenge. Obviously, sometimes we're not going to be able to overcome these formidable challenges that we're attempting. That's part of the fun. Of course, the actual Spartans lost to the Persians. That almost seems to get missed in the legend of it. Right? This is they were not victorious. Of course, they held back the enemy for a long time, just like we did here. But against such outnumbering, huge amounts of armies, there's only so much our group of 300 and change could do here. The last few guys are sort of battling it out, swinging to the death. We will honor them here and just sort of enjoy. But also with this series, if you're not familiar with it, I'm attempting these battles more than once. I'm trying to not tell the watcher, anybody viewing this, whether this is our first attempt, at least until this stage. This is our first attempt. I would say that's a success, even though it's a defeat. We lost our whole force, but we killed 2,000, or we injured 2,000 and killed another 365. So we didn't quite defeat this force. They still have many troops left, 600 something. But this was close enough that we're going to give this another shot. I've got a few things in mind that I realize I made mistakes. We will reload this. I will talk about what mistakes I think I made, and we'll give this another shot.
I know your tricks.
So we are back, and this is very interesting. The enemy seems to have a different number of troops this time. I'm not sure if they had a Lord die or something, but I remember distinctly they had 3,000 plus. They don't this time, so that'll make it a little easier, but this is still fighting 2,900 troops with our 300. Again, I want to use this marshy area over here. It's pretty well set up, right? There's this little island I can put troops. The only way it'd be better is if there's like a land bridge at the back of it where I could retreat to the rear, run to a land bridge, and then shoot them even more in this marsh. But this is overall, this is, I think, the best setup for this map to fight an enemy on this right side in this heavy marsh, and then try to basically manipulate the enemy so that they're walking through some of the deepest marsh to approach us. Now, mistakes I've made, for sure, we want to get our troops out of the water when the enemy has archers on the far bank. We either need to be very close to their bank to attack, or we need to be on our side and basically go around the marshes, right? I'm basically, my strategy here is to slow down the enemy units, shoot them full of arrows, get them into the marsh where they basically almost can't move, and then kill them, right? With ammunition, with arrows, with bolts, with javelins. Of course, if at some point in the battle the enemy has a bunch of archers on shore and infantry on shore, and we're in the water, of course it's been reversed on us. The shoe's on the other foot, and it's going to go just as bad for us as it goes for the enemy. So that's a mistake I've made. We're going to try to rectify that in this battle. Again, this shallow part over here, it's clear that the left flank is more vulnerable. Our left flank. The enemy right flank is going to be able to get through this water faster. This water here is much deeper, and again, we're going to try to utilize that. I want to try to... The computer is very much straight line from point A to point B unless there are barriers. The computer does not account for very well for marshes. A human opponent would probably try to go around here, and of course, that would be fun trying to counter that as well. But a computer opponent, they tend to do sort of very ABC calculus each time. The process, their process for thinking out strategy is very similar, and they don't think of stuff like, oh, there's a marsh here that's going to slow us down. So like these horse archers should be avoiding the water, but since they're not, we're going to kill them en masse. Killed their king. That's the Western Empire's king. It would have been cool if I beheaded him. And we're going to kill as many of these guys as we can before they get out of here.
Everyone hold fire!
Obviously, it's easier to fight a battle the second time, the third time, the fourth time. You know, the more you know about a battle, the better your chances are, right? This is not rocket science. Motherfuckers stab this shit out of me. I just got a level. I don't think I noticed that the first time. We level up. We're leveling up like crazy in this battle. If that is a level, this character's now level 53. He's getting up there. All right, so this heavy cap, these guys are in the deep water here. Some of their guys are on land charging. We're going to prioritize the defense of those guys. You're not getting a horse, buddy. Yeah, these guys are getting mowed down, and our shield wall of cav here and infantry did a really good job repelling them. Always killing nobles anytime we can. And I'm just sort of jockeying back and forth between these two different cav waves that are attacking. Right, they're both heavy cav. These are all elite cataphracts. Anybody watching this challenge thinking, well, you guys are just, you're beating low-level troops. All of these are the highest tier troops or the second highest tier. This is all their highest tier archer, veteran outrider. These are all very high troops. This is not like this challenge is against. I see challenges sometimes or videos on YouTube where people are fighting 3,000 peasants or whatever. And that's obviously neither is it realistic nor is it very challenging.
Follow me!
Ironically, this challenge would probably be even easier if I used vanilla Bannerlord. And you might be wondering, what does that mean? What mods do I have that affect it? Well, I have two different mods that I used for my campaign because I wanted my campaign to be harder. Once I started snowballing on the enemy, I added two mods that affect essentially enemy lords and their troops. What they do, all units sort of level up on a day-to-day basis. That's why you get upgrades, right? I guess the idea is like troops seeing combat, they would get better. They would turn into elite armies. Well, the mods I have rapidly accelerate the AI experience gain, and so their armies are stacked with high-level troops. It's not uncommon to see like 80 elite Benavolitons and other things that you would not see with vanilla Bannerlord. So ironically, the challenge that we're doing, not only is it just as hard as any challenge probably that other people are facing, it's actually harder. That's why they have so many fucking legionnaires and elite cataphract. Now, the other side of the coin, of course, is that very few people have played a campaign out as far as I've played. I'm filling this backstory here because a lot of people, of course, if you saw the first battle, it's not a mystery of what our strategy is here, right? We're just jousting with the enemy at range until they decide to bring their infantry vanguard up. It does look like they're starting to creep forward. So just like the first battle, we're going to bring our units out here over to the right flank on this higher ground. But my campaign, of course, is fairly unique. I don't know if I've ever heard of someone playing as many days as I did. I think we're literally on like 70 years of game time in the campaign. My original character, of course, is long dead. Actually, his son is dead too. So we have lots of family members, very high-level family members, virtually unlimited gold, elite armor, level 40 companions. We have level 40 hired companions, right? So this is obviously not a typical battle. Right? This is essentially the word I think of as contrived. Right? This is sort of made up, but it's still legit. Like, we're still fighting extremely difficult opponents on the hardest difficulty here. Look at these units are all elite. They're still sending in elite cataphract. I still see the death spam. You know, they're fighting back. And our tactics here, we'll see if we can overcome it. I've got a line of crossbow this time out in front, and I've got infantry divisions holding back. I want them standing back a little ways so that they can get their javelins in there. You see them piled up there. Meanwhile, all I'm doing with the enemy here is driving a train of cavalry sort of around it. I want to bewilder the enemy. I want to confuse them. I want them attacked from multiple fronts. That way their shield walls aren't effective. And of course, every time heavy cav knocks down an infantry in the marsh, that's also a victory for us. Their infantry wave, it literally looks like it vanished. Like I obviously I know it's dying, but that was very different than our previous attempt. They just vaporized. Between the immolating archer fire, I've got probably 15 companions that have javelin skills where they have the perk where it goes through the shield, right? The 250, I think, is the skill level you get it at. And so these guys are all massacre madmen javelin artists. There's a wall of shields coming, and these guys obliterate it. If you want to learn more about sort of javelins and skirmishers and how to use them in battle, the effectiveness of this high-level perk, check out my episode. I believe it's called Reimagine Your Skirmishers or something like that. It's part of our Intermediate Tactics series playlist. We basically show how devastating high-level javelins are. If you don't know already, you should definitely check it out. It's an underused part of Bannerlord, and I think that's that's a great opportunity a lot of people are missing out on. So they're sending in horse archers here. It's a small group, but the rest of them are sitting back. So again, we're going to do these ambush tactics, swinging behind them. We'll open fire and then just totally obliterate everything that we can find. These guys are going slow. We've got a full head of steam. We've got the fastest horse, or if not the fastest horse, one of the fastest horses in the game. So we can run these guys down. Look at, I'm blowing by them like a speeder on a motorcycle bike on the highway. And very few of these horse archers are going to make their way home.
Stop, hold fire! Horsemen, form a shield! Cavalry, raise your cavalry! Cavalry, make a shield! Loose formation!
Just waiting for the enemy to come over this ridge. When they do, we've got a nasty surprise for them. We're not going over though. If they want to sit back, they can sit back. They're the attackers. They're required to attack. We've got our defensive position here, and we're not going to be budged from it. There are occasional episodes that I have where I'm filming and it's a good battle and we've got a shot to win. And the enemy just sits there at range. And what I typically do is I reload those. I don't I'm not going to bore people here with a 2-hour battle where the enemy just skirmishes at range. And this battle is kind of trending that direction, but we'll see. They're moving. It looks like some cav up. Oh, here we go. Okay, they're moving up. If you're wondering what all the yelling is, that's from a mod I've attached to it. You can see all the mods that we're using in the details. It's a really cool mod called Immersive Battlefields. It's part of the reason my captains are echoing all of our commands. Right, that comes from this mod. You basically tell them to charge, and in their own voice, they then tell their units, charge! So just like a real battle, where a general gives an order and passes it down to his commander or his captain, then those people then relay it to the troops. So the din of battle in a real battle like this would be enormous. There'd be horns. They may or may not be using drums. Yeah, I see you trying to spear me, you motherfuckers. They may be using drums to command troops. We're going to do a little crossover attack on some of these defenders to kill you guys. And this mod definitely adds to the ambiance of battles in Bannerlord. You can hear the horns going off left and right. Horns are signal anytime a unit says charge. The other thing that's kind of nice, and I realize it has tactical advantages, is, believe it or not, the AI actually, their troops call out their commands too, just like real life, right? If you were across the field from a bunch of the enemy and they were yelling charge, you'd be able to hear that unless they were speaking in a different language. So you can actually use that to your tactical advantage with this mod. Like if you know they're pulling back, that might be your signal to charge, right? So it's an added little perk. Obviously, it's some people might consider it an exploit, but it's also realistic. Notice how I'm staying to the edges here of this water. We're not going in until the enemy goes in, right? We're going to try to keep our boots dry. When they're in there, when they're vulnerable, then we will join them in the water. But otherwise, we stay out, right? We're going to keep our mobility. We're going to prevent our units from getting drowned and trapped like that first battle. Their infantry is knee-deep. Oh, this is all cav. They look like infantry over the range. That's the thing, though. They're moving slow. We attack. Concentrated attack. Send in the second, 8th, and 3rd. Our archers are still shooting. Our crowd, our troops roar as they go into battle here. The enemy's trying to take out our archers, but we're going to counter that pretty easily. I'm skirting the edge of the lake this time. We're not going in the lake unless it's obvious it's advantageous for us. You hear them yelling. They just someone yelled over there, "Kill them all!" Right, it's a nice effect. I'm gonna pretend they meant that order for me, and we're gonna kill them all, motherfuckers. This is a bit of a kamikaze attack. I'm doing this in part because these archers are in the water. They can't move very fast. They're all jumbled up. The other reason I'm doing this is that, well, I was gonna say is that I have a full health bar, or almost full health bar. I don't anymore, but we are able to cause a lot of carnage to their troops in this manner. I've got my 8th Corps following me, so these are high-level knights knocking guys over. Each one of them is doing like 30 charge damage like me. Fuck, that's not good. I am now fucking neck deep with the enemy here, and there's no horse nearby. I got a couple javelins left, though. I need that horse catch. Gotta get out of here. The infantry's here approaching us in the water, and look at them. They're like to their head in this marsh. The nice thing is we won't have to bury them after we kill them in this battle. We can just leave them in the marsh. Someday this will be nice fertile farmland for our peasants to farm. All the phosphorus and nutrients of these dead enemies for our soil. In effect, we'll be cannibalizing the enemy. That seems apropos. Again, their infantry's charging out at us here, but we've got our infantry right on the line here with crossbowmen. So they're charging into a death mob. This is archers coming out. So these guys must be out of ammo or trying to reform. We're going to attack aggressively. There's no fucking way we're going to let these guys reform around our flanks. Bringing in cav units behind me. I've got the 7th Corps still following me. Yeah, that's right. We're pushing these archers the fuck out of here. When you get reforming archers like this, kill them en masse. This is your time just to mow through here. Almost no risk. A few of them will swing their weapons at you, but most of them are just dead. All right. Crossbowmen are across. Let's get our archers across while the enemy's reforming. We'll make our movements. I'm gonna put our troops right on the other side of this little shallow bank. It is shallow, but I think it's just high enough, this little ridge here, this little sand dune or whatever, that we can put our troops on this side of it, and the enemy won't be able to shoot us. All these fucking archers here, if we were coming over this ridge, we would be shot to pieces. We're gonna stay right down here, shield walls in front. I've got 36 crossbowmen. I've got the 6th and 1st Corps still in pretty good shape. This looks like cav is charging. I hear their horns going off. We've already got shield walls established though. We welcome a charge. Come and get them. Oh, their infantry's just charging in. We charge. Thanks. They just literally charged the lion's den here. It's a lot of troops, but we have elite troops still alive. We're going to confront these guys directly. Straight to the fucking jugular. Infantry in front, archers behind. Most of them are shock troops, so they have two-handed weapons. We're going to join them here with our blazing fast axe and try to carve a fucking path through the enemy here. All green death spam. We're just fucking plowing the road here. Their archers are trying to reform to get an angle on us. I don't think so. The marsh is over there. That's your death. What a fucking massacre. Now these guys that were all on charge, holding ammo, are now over the ridge and they can shoot all these retreating enemies right in the back. We're going to move up crossbow divisions here. I've got 2 infantry corps that are still in pretty decent shape. Well, the 6th is damaged pretty bad. And the 8th Corps is all but dissolved. There's usually like 1 or 2 hardy guys that run around and charge, but you know, I'm going to drag these guys with me. But that was an absolutely destructive tactical victory for us. They literally charged the lion's den with predictable results. They had no archer support. In fact, their archers were in melee trying to attack us. I mean, they might as well try to charge hell. Now these guys are charging directly at our shock troops too. We like that. As long as they have some support, they have these infantry lines in front of them to slow down these charges, and our group is thick, right? Our troops are not spread out. They've got these shields protecting us from our arrows. The enemy is just dissolving on us. Now we're going around this marsh this time. I've learned my lesson. We're going to take this left flank here and stay dry. Approach the enemy from uphill, or not uphill, but from dry land here. It is a little uphill. Motherfucker. My health is getting to a precarious stage again. I don't think we have enough of an advantage yet to win if I go down. So I've got to play a little bit more defensive. Just a little bit more, though. My character is, after all, Berserker. They're not known for their prudence. Most of my archers are out of arrows because they're not firing. They're just standing there. I see a few arrows whizzing over. But we're going to use this shield and shock approach here again. Look at how strong this crossbow line is. This strategy is incredibly potent. All those crossbowmen are out of arrows. Almost all those archers are out of arrows, right? Out of bolts and out of arrows. But what they are is a deadly combination together. Heavy shields in front, right? Big heavy shields leading the way. and then behind them, a huge line of shock troops. Like, this is still like 80, 60, 70, 80 battalion fiend champs with whatever, I think they have 260 two-hand skill. Now, they're vulnerable to arrows. They're vulnerable to cav. But if we can keep them behind this, look at this shield wall. If we can keep them behind this line, I don't think there's much that can stop us. We're going to plow right into the enemy here. God, I want to join my troops on foot. There's a huge line of archers coming up, but they can't get line of sight on us. Their own troops are in their way. Oh, we need to just all-out attack here. We need to just frenzy an attack here. I can only take like 1 or 2 arrows. I gotta be a little more careful. Ordinarily, I would just fucking wade in there and kill a dozen archers myself. But I'm gonna have to sit behind my troops here some. The line is obliterating everything in its path, though. I can help them in the rear here. Make sure these cav don't do too much damage. God, the screen is green and it's moving so fast, it's like to the bottom of the fucking screen. Fuck you. Oh, I mean, it's just an obliteration. This is about the 4th or 5th tactical advantage we've had in this battle. I mean, this is a fucking massacre. I don't know if we can win still, but we are fucking the enemy up this time. Their archers are spreading out here. We're taking some losses, but these are now low-level archers. Ah, fuck. I am down to a fraction. Now I've got to really avoid the enemy. My troops are doing their thing, though. There's still 100 archers. They've been so protected and destroying everything in their path in this battle that we still have 100 archers. I mean, they are just eating the enemy up. I've got a big barn door here. We can kind of see what's going on. They're either reforming or routing here. Let's try to finish the job here. Some of them are fighting. They're not giving up yet. Oh, they're trying to spear me, motherfuckers. That's right, dude. You can't stop us. Our 8th Corps. Some of our elite companions are still in there causing carnage. Some of these guys are still shooting. That's amazing. I promise, folks, we don't have a mod that gives us more ammunition. This is just part of it's our conservation of arrows, right? We've been very careful with how we've used arrows. They're also, they pick up arrows, right? Your battalion fiend champs, your other high rank archers, well, all archers really, but in this situation especially, our fiends are picking up arrows. And obviously, it's like dodgeball. The enemy's throwing arrows at us, and we're picking them up and then shooting them back at the enemy and killing them. These are peasants now. This fucking battle is over. Now it's peasants. I gotta be honest, folks. I didn't think this was a battle we could win. I thought this was going to be a glorious death in battle for our force here. I mean, I could still get dropped. It just takes someone breathing on me. But this, we just defeated 2,900 troops with our 300. I mean, those guys are all routing. Nice. Trying to stay true to the channel. I'm always trying to keep the, look at how many arrows are in my shield in the back. There's like 30 arrows. I'm on absolute fraction of health. But trying to just make sure that the watcher's aware, the watcher's not being tricked. This was our 4th attempt at this battle. The previous 2 attempts went worse than the first, actually. You can see, yeah, 2,900 we put down. We still have 130 troops. So the second battle, I got stuck in the water myself, and Manablions just absolutely obliterated me very early on. The third battle, I took way too much damage from arrows early on and dropped pretty early too. But this fourth battle, here we go. 4 tries, 2,900 into the marsh. And our 300 soldiers on. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. If you want to see more of this, please subscribe. Let me know what you think of the channel. Let me know what you think of these 300 battles. Please leave comments. I appreciate you guys. I will see you fellas next time.